Yo, what's up guys? So today I'm working on this, I believe it's a 1981 Chevy C10. This is a square body truck, pretty clean truck. I mean, it's not perfect by any means. It's a cheaper paint job, but I actually dig this color. I guess you would call this like a root beer color. So what I'm gonna do is be fixing some few maintenance issues and also installing those wheels and a lowering kit. So this is a 5.7 drop. Of course, it's got a bolt-in C-notch like most kits. We're not gonna do a weld-in notch today. Maybe I can get somebody to do one day and we'll do that on film. He had these wheels just laying around, 20-inch Riddler wheels. I think he's gonna end up buying some 22-inch wheels for this truck. These are 20s, but these are just to get them by for now. So when you're lowering one of these trucks, and most trucks, what you do is you take this axle, and it's called a flip kit. So you take this and you flip it to the top of the leaf spring, and that lowers it about 6 inches. And then of course you can run some lowering shackles. Now you come into an issue where this is higher, the truck's lower, so you hit your frame. So you cut all this out, put in a bolt-on C-notch. People complain about them, but if you install them correctly, it's really not a big deal. Or you can do a weld-in notch. Weld-in notches are ideal and the better route, but today we're doing a bolt-in notch. I just hit my head. Pretty simple. Take the axle, flip it on a leaf spring, put lowering shackles. You got a bracket that pushes the axle backwards. That way your drive shaft's not bottoming out in the transmission. Then if we go to the front's a little more complicated, but still kind of easy if you know what you're doing. So you will swap out for spindles that relocate the center of the hub up 2.5 inches. So that lowers it 2.5 inches. Then you get rid of this spring and you swap it out for a 3-inch lowering spring. So this kit is actually a 5.5 lowering in the front. I mean, it's actually, for its age, it's a pretty decent truck. I mean, the frame's not rusted any. Some of these trucks you get underneath them and they are destroyed with rust. These leaf spring bolts always cause issues and are always seized up. So let's hope today that that is not the case. Anyways, I'm gonna get started on this thing. I will try to record what I can of the process. I don't have a camera guy, obviously, so I can only record so much and get done in a timely manner and try to make money at the same time. But hey, one day we'll get there, guys. Anyways, stay tuned. Let's get this thing done. All right, so I actually like to do the rear of these trucks first because you got to do all the cutting and drilling all the holes for the bolts. And if you do the front and you wear yourself out, then you come back here and have to do this, it's just not fun. So I do the hard part first and then do the easy part. So anyways, I'm gonna show y'all a little trick. So these bump stops are held in with factory rivets, and a lot of parts on the older trucks are held in with factory rivets. You wanna put an X in them, and then you take a flat blade on an air hammer and then you just hit it right here and they come right off, super easy. Then you just take your center punch and knock the rivet out. That to me is the easiest way to get factory rivets out of the frame. And it definitely helps if you sharpen it and get you a nice straight edge on there, and then it'll knock those rivets right out. So I got them all cut, and if you see, it just cuts them right off flush. So then you'll take your straight point chisel and just hit it from the bottom and it'll pop it right up out the frame. Most of the time, the problem with bolt-on C-notches is always user installation. Almost every time. So a lot of guys fail to drill holes at where your corners meet, which if you don't do that, then it can allow a crack to develop on those straight cut edges. You do this, then it has a little round edge here and it's less prone to cracking. That's the number one issue. Number two issue is people tend to cut way too much metal off, and therefore where the C-notch is there's a big gap between the plate that goes up right here and down and the actual frame itself. And for some reason I see so many C-notches, nobody drills the lower holes for the C-notch. I don't know why. I don't know if people are just lazy or what. What I like to use is this device. This is called the death wheel because, yeah, as you can tell, What I'll do is start my cut and get a hole started. More of a line. And then I'll use my Sawzall with the Diablo blade to finish out the cuts because it's much faster than this and it don't throw sparks all in your face. But yeah, and before you do that, you want to always support your frame with some kind of jack. That way when you cut this chunk out, it don't try to flex your frame any. And you want to also remove the brake line and the wiring harness from the other side and get them out away from the frame. That way you don't cut your wires or cut your brake line. All right, so I got my cut line started and we're gonna use the Milwaukee Sawzall with the Diablo blade. And by the way, this Sawzall is a beast. Like, it works so well. And of course the Diablo blades just, I mean, they can't be stopped. They cut everything. Alright, so guys, I didn't get to film much more. Ended up on a time crunch. I wanted to get this thing done so I wasn't at the shop all night so I can go home and spend some time with the family. Turned out pretty nice. Fitment looks good. It sits real low. I think it turned out pretty sweet. Drop a comment below. Let me know how you like it. Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Or do you prefer lifted trucks over lowered trucks? And if you like more content like this, then go ahead, like and subscribe. Until next time, peace out, y'all.